I love him. He's great.
But no, if anything, I love Todd. I just don't know if he loves me. So we'll see how that could go.
Okay, so full disclosure, and I admit that I am speaking for Todd in this instance, and so he can, if he's listening, which he probably doesn't,
for sure,
he can defend himself. Todd doesn't really like anybody.
Okay,
there's just people.
So I'm not the only one.
Yeah, there's just people that he hates less than other people.
Right.
And it's nothing personal. Like, I don't even think half the time when Todd does stuff that makes people think, oh, I think he hates me, he doesn't realize he's doing it.
Right.
It's just how Todd is, and he's just cynical, man. That's just what Todd does.
Yeah.
He doesn't mean anything by it, I don't think. You know?
I think Todd's hilarious. There
he's very funny.
There are some points where it's like, I don't know if you really hate me or if you just hate people as long as they have a pulse.
Basically. Okay. Funny story, though. This was great. So, excuse me, Todd and I, along with Donnie Townsend, Andrew King.
Another great comedian.
Very funny.
Andrew King as well. Fantastic.
And Chris Slichting.
He's okay. No, Chris Slichting is fantastic, too.
So a pretty stacked lineup, you know. So the order was Andrew, and then me, and then Todd, and then Donnie, and then Chris ended the show.
Okay, yeah.
And we just did it like I don't know what they call it, but Andrew went up, then he called me up, and then I called up Todd, right? So Todd gets on stage. Excuse me, guys.
I think they would call that like a host follow.
Yeah. I think they call it like shotgun hosting or something.
Okay,
but
yeah.
I don't know if that's right.
That sounds right. I like that term.
Doesn't matter. Anyways, so I bring up Todd and he tells the story. So before the show, me and him were sitting at this table. The show was in one room. There was a hallway, and on the other side of the hallway, we were sitting.
Okay.
In this room, and Todd brought in 2 of his notebooks. He has 2 like leather bound. They're nice notebooks, and he puts them on the mantle, and he goes and gets a drink at the bar. He comes back, and there's only 1 notebook, and he grabs this 1 notebook. He's like, I'm pretty sure I brought in 2 notebooks.
Yeah.
But maybe not, you know. So he sits down. I'm sorry, guys.
Again, we're sick. Forgive us.
So we're sitting down, and he looks over, and this probably like 75 to 80-year-old lady is reading Todd's notebook. And if you know Todd as a comedian, he's super vulgar. Like, he just talks about like a lot of sexual stuff and like his sexual inadequacies and and this lady is reading, and he starts freaking out a little bit. He's like, I don't know what to do. I need my notebook back, but I don't know how to get it back from her. And so I'm like, just go ask her for your notebook back. It's your notebook. And he's like, I don't want to do it. You know, he's getting a little nervous. Because this is like an 80-year-old lady.
Yeah.
So he goes and he sits next to this lady. He's like, hey, what you reading? She's like...
super passive-aggressive about it.
Yeah. And she doesn't catch on. She doesn't realize that she's reading his joke notebook. She's like, oh, it's just this journal I found. And he's like, oh, how is it? And she's like, you know, honestly, it's really dirty and irreverent and just no holds bar. And
I can only imagine he's fuming at this point.
No, quite the opposite. He was just nervous, you know, because he didn't know how to like broach the subject, I guess. He's not fuming at all. He's kind of like giggling to himself, but he wants to keep up the shtick, right? That he's just like having a conversation with this lady.
Yeah.
And me and Andrew King has showed up at this point. We're just watching this whole thing go down, but we can't hear anything because it's too far away.
Okay.
And so he's like, she tells him that it's dirty and irreverent and whatever. He's like, oh, is it funny? And she's like, I don't really know. I mean, and he's like, yeah, that's my joke notebook. And at that moment, I see her just hit him on the arm. Like, she doesn't realize that, you know, he's kind of just been fucking with her.
Yeah.
So he gets on stage and he tells that story, and it was so great. And he's like, if the lady that did this wants to, she can raise her hand. And she does it for a second, and then she raised her hand, and the like crowd went The audience went nuts.
Yeah.
But it was so funny, man. So anyways, the point of that story is Todd is super funny. He's quick-witted, and if he wants to be on the podcast, I think Brandon would agree with that.
Absolutely.
We would like to have him.
Right.
But we have a lot of like super great comedian friends, and also other interesting people that aren't comedians that would do great in a podcast scenario.
And to be honest with you, like I said, I've never known how or what level I'm on with Todd. I've always thought he's and I can say this because I know he's not going to listen. But I've always liked Todd's comedy, and I've always liked him as a person. I definitely think that he would give an interesting like third take to the podcast.
Yeah,
or
for
in
sure.
In any atmosphere that he wanted to help us in. But yeah, Todd, if you are listening to this, or if you are interested, full invite, buddy.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So anyways, the point is made. We are taking...
we're looking to adopt.
Yeah. So tell us why you would be a great fit for the Taco Tuesday podcast.
Absolutely. And we'd love to have... If you play video games and you'd like to be... If you'd like to be on board, like... And play on Twitch as the Taco Tuesday podcast representative, we'd love to have you. Yeah. If you'd like to help out and do something in a YouTube aspect, we'd love to have you.
If you are a paranormal investigator and you want us to make fun of you while you tell us some cool shit about houses you've been in,
right? We love ghosts. We just don't understand that shit.
Not entirely convinced it's real, but I want to talk to you about it.
Hell yeah, specters and shit. But yeah, so we're looking to adopt. Foo Fighters was awesome. Tennessee was awesome. The Kentucky Drive was awesome.
Yeah, man.
Ohio, nobody lives in Ohio.
Ohio sucks, dude. Ohio and Indiana are the most worthless states.
Ohio is for leavers.
I dig it. We're also a big fan of puns, guys. So wow us with your pun making abilities.
And if you don't like them, that's understandable. That was terrible. I'm fine with it though. I've made peace with it.
You guys can't see, but I'm shaking my head. I'm very
so
disappointed.
I think Jake's head spun around on his neck. But yeah, so that's our podcast this week. We're sick as shit. Thank you for listening to us, even while we're sick. This is Brandon.
And this is Jake.
And this is Billy D. Williams signing off.